Hello there, everybody. I'm Sabat92, aka Nightmare. I'm feeling very calm, and I think I'm ready to continue a little bit more of this. So, okay.
Phew, that was close.
Tell me about it. I nearly died in there. That's my line, sir.
No, it's my line. I think I really did die a little bit. Looks like we all nearly died in there.
I can't believe Detective Gumshoe. How could he betray us like that?
Huh? He said he'd help me.
But he totally set me up. I don't think he meant to do that, Maggie. He was backed into a corner. I mean, the guy's gotta do his job, right? It's okay. I know all about lies and betrayal. I've had them my whole life. He didn't betray you. But it really hurt this time. It felt like someone punched me hard in the stomach. I hate that guy. I don't ever want to see him again. Poor Gumshoe.
So the next witness is going to be that old guy from the park, right?
Yeah, Mr. Kudo. Lover of waitresses' outfits and projectile seeds.
I bet he's gonna be really stubborn.
I mean, he's pretty set in his ways, you know. He's from an old age.
Yeah, he's a big old grouch. Are you going to be able to handle him, Nick?
Yeah. I can take whatever he throws at me. Even those never-ending bird seeds. Well, we might need to enlist Mia's help, potentially. Because goddamn, she had him wrapped around her little finger. Okay. Call to now reconvene for the trial of Maggie Bird. Mr. Godo, your next witness, please.
The prosecution calls the unlucky old timer who caught the show over a cup of coffee. Will the witness please take the stand?
I kind of like Kudo's theme. I like it. Name and occupation. Oh, sorry.
Name and occupation if you don't mind.
My name is Victor Kudo, born and bred in the land of the rising sun. Honor and duty are what make me. Mind you, I can be quite emotional at times, so...
We don't need to hear about that, Mr. Kudo. Just tell the court your occupation.
My occupation? Ha! Listen, youngin'. How much code do you think there is for kimono embroidery here?
Kimono embroidery?
That's what I do, or did back in Japan. I embroidered family crests on kimonos. My ancestors were embroidering kimonos before this country even existed.
Wow, real castmen. They're a dying breed. Hey, maybe he can embroider my costume sometime.
Anyway, like I said, there's not much demand for that kind of thing here. So I had to take a job working the cash register at a burger joint. Pretend to smile.
That burger joint would have been better off putting him in the kitchen.
Now then, witness, were you in the restaurant at the time of the incident? Oh, yes. I was eating some seeds over a cup of Javachino.
Seeds?
What do you think is that? Hmm?
You just... Are you eating the bird seeds? I see. Unless those are sunflower seeds, in which case those are tasty. Or pumpkin seeds. Oh, those are great when they're roasted.
So you saw everything that happened, Gramps?
Did I? Oh, yes. No, yes, I did. I saw it all.
Then please, tell the court. We're all ears.
Sure. I'll tell you every last detail.
He's really getting into this. Oh, this will be interesting.
The young man was reading a sports paper. The serving girl brought him a Javachino, but she put something in it. The man took one sip of it, looked like he was in terrible pain, and then collapsed. That's the serving girl, right there in the defendant's chair. I remember her well.
No. You were... No. I've already got an idea here. I've already got a decent idea here. He referred... There was a scene that showed that he cared more about the dresses that the servers were wearing. So, there was another girl that we saw earlier. We don't know her name, but she had bandages around her. Who's to say that he didn't see her? The reason why? Because he focuses more on the dress than the person who is wearing it. Unless it's Mia, because let's be fair, Maid Mia, pretty top tier.
Mr. Kudo, she's not a serving girl. Please refer to her as a waitress. Ha! You're as bad as the rest of them. All these newfangled words. What's wrong with old-fashioned ones,
Newfangled?
No, this talk of radios and glasses, it's wireless and spectacles, I tell you.
Excuse me.
Listen to me, everyone. Don't forget your values. Don't let the good old days slip away.
Well, I think it's time to begin the cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor. Okay, here we go.
Hold it.
So you saw the victim then? You saw Mr. Glenn Elg?
I wanted to know if Gutsin Braun retained his championship or not.
So he was looking at the sports paper the victim was reading, huh? At the location in question, there are partitions between tables on the same side of the restaurant, right?
So what if there are?
If you say that you could see the victim, that means you were sitting at a table on the other side of the restaurant, correct?
I go to that place to drink Giavicino. I don't go to sit. I don't remember which table I was sitting at.
Me go there to eye the waitress. Filthy pervert. Mr. Kudo, that's a very grave accusation. Are you sure about what you saw?
Victor Kudo never makes mistakes. I dot every T and cross every I.
I see. Wait a minute.
My eyesight's fine. The doctor said I only need spectacles for reading and driving.
I bet his eyes are only really fine when he's scoping out a waitress.
And I saw what the serving girl put into the Giavicino as well.
But I know it's going to come up, and something tells me I'm not gonna like it. I mean, potentially we could press this. That way we could potentially counter it. Your Honor, we need more clarification on what was put into the victim's coffee. I'd like to ask that the witness add that what he knows about this to his testimony.
I agree. Witness, will you enlighten us, please?
Sure. There's no question about it. She very conspicuously put some white powder in there.
Did she really put that into the coffee?
You got me, boy. She took a small brown bottle and sprinkled it in.
Couldn't she have been adding some
sugar in a small brown bottle like that?
Like that. Hey, witness, could you please describe the bottle in more concrete terms?
A bottle like this, perhaps?
Oh, there it is. That's the one.
That's the bottle of potassium cyanide, I presume.
So what the accused put into the coffee? I think it's clear, don't you?
He took just one sip.
You youngins, you waste everything. Those Giavicinos cost $8. In the good old days, we would have drank every last drop, eaten the cup, and then died.
Well, that would happen if you tried eating a glass cup. Congratulations! You have earned the title of battiest man to grace a courtroom. Got that right.
So does an immediate death? Well, with potassium cyanide, I suppose that is possible.
Oh, yes, he slumped over without so much as a twitch. I felt the Giavicino I just drank turn sour in my stomach.
Oh, yes, I know that feeling.
And the waitress, I presume she is...
You said I remember her well in reference to the waitress. Did she have any particular features that you can identify her by?
Particular features? It's a disgrace, that's what it is.
Sorry?
You can see all the way up. Here now. She's putting her naked in that uniform. Objection!
So the particular feature you recognize about the waitress is her outfit. But anyone can wear just such a uniform. Even me. Well, Mr. Wright, as hilarious as that sounds, I don't think I would. Please spare the court of any further mental anguish from that image. You know, there's gotta be fan art of him in a maid outfit. There's gotta be.
Don't get all excited, Nick. You gotta keep yourself together.
I guess I gotta be carried away.
Ka! There are other things I recognize about her, too.
He's pretty sure of himself. What should I do? Hey, no, press harder. What else does he remember? Okay, sure. You saw a waitress take the coffee over to the victim. But what matters is whether that waitress was Maggie Bird or not.
Quite right. Mr. Kudo, these are the features that you recognize by the defendant. I would ask you to add them to your testimony. Sure. There was a ribbon in her hair and her apron straps were loose.
Her apron straps are ribbon in her hair? You do seem to remember several details about her appearance. But what about the most crucial detail of all? Her face.
Ka! As if I wouldn't remember that.
Objection! The witness noticed the straps on the accused apron. He's unlikely to make a mistake about her face.
That's right. I can even tell you the color of the ribbon in her hair. It was red.
Okay.
So you see, there's nothing wrong with the witness's eyesight.
There's no doubt he remembers the waitresses pretty well. What should I do? I get the feeling there's something more to this somehow. The waitress is back? Did he even see what she looked like from the front? The identifying features you described are all things you would see from the back. Yeah, and to be fair, this picture did,
So what?
Is it possible that you never saw the waitress from the front at all?
Objection! Huh. He's got you there, Gramps.
People normally talk about facial features when they're asked to describe someone. But this witness's testimony is nothing but straps and ribbons.
This is harassment! I tell you, I'm not obsessed with straps and ribbons! I'm just telling you what I saw! Mr. Kudo, the court requests that you add details about any identifying features. Features you observed from the front, that is, to your testimony. Sure.
This old man's testimony is getting longer and longer.
If I can't find a hole in it soon, it'll get even longer, I bet.
There wasn't anything that caught my interest about her when I saw her from the front.
What? Wait a minute. There wasn't anything that caught your interest about her when you saw her from the front. How would you not notice this? How the fuck would you not notice this? There were stains! Mr. Kudo, I would like you to please take a look at this.
That filthy thing would suit filth like you just perfectly. Actually, it reminds me of what my grandson looks like, just after he's done eating.
Have you ever seen this before?
Of course I haven't.
Well, there we go.
Do you think I'd forget something as dirty as that? Well, you have-witted clot!
There we go. Wait.
What? What is it? Ever since I said you half-witted clot, there's been an eerie silence in here.
Mr. Kudo, this apron is the apron worn by the defendant on the day of the poisoning. And as you just said yourself, you wouldn't forget something like this. Which means if you had really seen this apron before... Yes, you know what I'm getting at. You couldn't have possibly seen the waitress from the front.
Oops. Witness! You can't just oop your way out of this.
Well. Looks like we finally have a genuine trial on our hands.
Good. Let's go then, Godo.
Listen, Trite. Here are the facts. On the day of the incident, there was only one waitress in the restaurant.
That being the defendant, Miss Maggie Bird.
Exactly. And when that one waitress put the poison into the coffee cup, this old guy was watching.
I hope you understand the gravity of the situation, Mr. Kudo. The fate of the defendant may rest on what you say you remember seeing.
Just tell the court exactly what you saw, Gramps.
You can rely on me, Captain. My noggin's in perfect working order. I can't remember a single occasion when I forgot what burger a customer wanted.
He can't remember? Probably more like he messed up so many times he's blocking it out.
Very well. Let's just see how good your memory and attention to detail is, Mr. Kudo. Tell us what you remember about the victim. Okay, here we go.
Here's another of those pesky young types, wearing a broken pair of spectacles. I think it was something those kids called a scouter. My grandson keeps talking about power levels and all that. He had a newspaper in his right hand, and the noisy brat kept rustling its pages.
That's a very odd detail in his right hand.
The young man was listening to the wireless. I remember that well. Then the serving girl in question brought over the Javachino. The little fidget picked up the cup with his free hand and took a sip.
Okay, the testimony we have just heard was to test how credible the witness's memory is. It seems to me that he remembers the victim in a great deal of detail.
Oh yes, I hate those you-know-what types who are so vague about everything.
How are we going to handle this, Nick? We only need to do one thing. We just need to prove that the old man's memory is shot.
Just trip him up, you mean? Isn't that kind of cruel?
Yeah, it's a little bit. Probably. Maybe. Do I have anything that can kind of, He mentioned something about it being in his right hand. The newspaper in his right hand. So that would mean that his... That would mean that... Hold on. I'm grabbing my own teacup here. Okay, so... I have the newspaper in my right hand. And then I grab the tea... I see a problem. He said that he lifted the coffee cup in his left hand. But if I do that, then my mouth would appear on the other side of the cup. Okay, so there, right there. Okay, we got this. All right. I'm glad I had a... Okay, by the way, I'm not drinking coffee. I'm not doing the Godo sip challenge here. I'm drinking tea. Okay, I think I already know what I need to do. I suppose, but it's what I do best. Good. I already know what to do now. But first things first.
Hold it!
Spectacles?
Dark glasses to you. One of the lenses was green, but the other was broken. Newfangled rubbish. That's why I remember him so well.
He did have some kind of lens over his left eye. But I wouldn't have called it a pair of glasses.
Seems to have been wearing some rather modern-looking shades. Perhaps I should take to wearing some and rival Mr. Godo's sharp appearance.
We better come up with something sharp and quick.
Guess I'll wait and see if I can challenge him about the spectacles.
Hold it!
The newspaper was a sports paper, was it?
That young hooligan! I nearly asked him, can't you even read without fidgeting? How was I supposed to be able to read the back page with all that wrestling going on? I need to find out if Gus and Braun retained his championship title.
It was his paper, not yours. If you wanted to know so bad, why don't you buy your own?
What are you looking at me for that from? How dare you judge me?
Ow! Ow!
Oh, Guts and Braun got beaten yesterday, by the way. Anyway.
Hold
The wireless.
The decadent young rascal. In my day, it was one or the other. Read the paper or listen to the wireless.
Oh boy.
And man using an earpiece. It's selfish, that's what it is. I was straining my ears, but I couldn't catch any of it.
Was he that desperate to listen to the radio?
What are you looking at me there for him? How dare you be sorry for me?
Ah, that's the fuck! Who allowed him to bring those in here?
Hold it!
You mean the waitress, who you only saw from behind, right?
You're one of those, are you? You never let anything go, isn't that right?
Maybe.
What does it matter if I saw from the far from behind? Am I so lie?
Better not push it until I've got some hard evidence. If he's paid up with his free hand and took a sip. His free hand would be his left hand. If he was holding the paper with his right hand. There's only, oh, I just realized, I'm currently holding my glass no. Hold on. How would I hold this with my left hand? No. That's not very secure. Okay. I know what, okay, I'm going to press this. Just for dialogue. Actually, you know what?
Objection!
Let's prove this. Mr. Kudo, do you remember what you were told at the start of this testimony? That this was a way of testing the credibility of your memory.
I know. There's nothing wrong with my memory, I tell you. Nothing! If I got anything wrong, I'll eat these seeds and sing the pigeon song!
Care to tell us where this is going, Trite?
According to Mr. Kudo, the victim was holding the paper in his right hand, while drinking coffee with his free hand, which would make that his left. Unless he's got a third arm, and we're not going to go into that territory.
Cat, what is this? Kindergarten?
But I would like the court to please take a look at this. That's the cup the victim used. Correct? Yes, and on the rim, you'll notice the mark left by the victim's lips. Yes, there's a stain left by the coffee. If you consider where that stain is, you'll clearly see that the victim was holding the cup in his right hand.
But how?
Well, Mr. Kudo, the court is waiting for your epic performance. You said you'd eat those seeds and sing the pigeon song.
Mr. Kudo, I'm afraid this is simply not acceptable. I think the witness had better go back to the pocket. Wait! If you think I'm going to stand here and listen to you tell me I'm mad, you're wrong! I don't care about that dirty coffee cup. I know what I saw!
You still insist on your testimony?
That young brat was holding the cup in his left hand. Oh yes, no question, I'm a good law-abiding citizen, I am. Is that dead young hot button, you spiky-haired yahoo, who're at fault?
Who, me?
Why, thank you, old man. We've heard quite enough from you already. Don't call me old man, old man! Been around for 68 years, I have. You can't ignore me. Listen to what I've got to say!
I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo, but...
Sure, why not hear a little more?
Mr. Godo!
But this is my 16th cup of coffee, so this is your final stand.
Thank you, Captain. You can rely on Victor.
Oh, here we go. Left hand or right hand?
The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. He kept fiddling with it all the time. He was fiddling with it just before he picked up the cup, too. And then he used the same hand to pick up the cup. His left hand.
Huh.
We know that the victim was wearing an unusual monocle over his left eye.
It wasn't a monocle, Your Honor.
Now we're gonna get an idea of what it is? Totally a scouter.
It was a small computer monitor often used by programmers.
A monitor? You mean like a television screen?
The inside of the lens is a screen that displays computer data. It's called an HMD. It's a common tool in the victim's line of work.
HDTV, DVD, CD. All these newfangled letters drive me mad, but they don't matter. I know what I saw, and I'm telling the truth.
Huh. It's true. He doesn't seem to be lying.
And those are the facts, in good old black and white.
The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. Profiles. Remember wearing HDMI over his left eye. His left eardrum was ruptured. Oh. Oh. Well, that's wrong. He says that he was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs, but if that's the case, that can't be the case because it was his left eardrum was ruptured. Why would he put an earpiece in the eardrum that was ruptured? That makes no sense. I think I know what I gotta do. Like, I gotta counter this statement. So the victim was wearing an HMD.
HDTV, DVD, what does it matter?
There's none of them actually, but anyway. And you're sure that he was wearing the earpiece on the same side?
No question. I could only see that side of his head from where I was sitting.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious if you look at the floor plans. From the opposite table, he'd only have a view of the side of the victim's head. It seems you kept an eye on Mr. Glenelg.
He was getting on my nerves. Wrestling that newspaper and fiddling with his earpiece all the time. And then he went and made on that first dime from one sip of Javachino. I wanted to say to him, calm down, you young brat. Just looking at him made me suddenly speed up my seed eating. I could have choked.
So I take it the victim was a walking ball of nervous energy. The earpiece you mentioned, which hand did the victim touch it with?
You're one of those people, aren't you? You're the type that uses your left hand to get things out of your right pocket.
I feel called out here, because I do... I'm not going to take this harassment from you, old man.
Oh, I fastened your left cuff with your right hand.
What? Isn't that how you're supposed to...
And when the tour guide says, on your right side you see the famous blah blah, you're the only one who deliberately looks left. Well, aren't you?
Yeah? No? I didn't mean...
Obviously use a hand on the same side as by the earpiece when you're in.
Ow! So if he had the HMD on his left side, then it was his left hand, I guess. You seem very sure of yourself, Mr. Kudo.
That's because I know what I saw. No matter what tricks you try to play on me.
Looks like he really did see the guy picking the cup up with his left hand. This is a dead end.
Well, Nick, what do you think?
I think the guy is telling the truth. Even so, something's not quite right.
Then chuck evidence at him until he breaks.
But if he's not lying, then there wouldn't be any contradiction to his testimony, right? No. I already know what to do. I don't know what I presented. I meant to present his profile. I'm so fucking... Oh my god, why am I so stupid? What did I present? My trigger finger was too fast. What the hell did I present? I meant to swap over to the profiles. God. Wait. I meant to go to... his... God damn it. My trigger finger hit the fucking... Damn it. I hope that's right. The music stopped, which means I think I got it right, but... Oh. Never mind. Maybe it wasn't the profile that I had to present, it was the medicine itself. Because I'm pretty sure the medicine points out that he had a problem with his left eardrum, so... Actually, is this one of those scenarios where the profile or the medicine would have worked? Might be. I'm not sure what the relevance of this is, but... Mr. Kudo, there's something very strange about your observations of the victim.
What?
You say he was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the HMD.
No question. You can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was his left ear, without a doubt. I could only see that side of his head from where I was sitting.
I don't think so.
What did you say?
You're no doubt unaware of this fact, Mr. Kudo, but the victim couldn't hear with his left ear. His eardrum was ruptured.
Eh?
Traces of medication for his condition were found in his ear canal. That's right. It's impossible that the victim was wearing his earpiece in his left ear, because he couldn't even hear in that ear.
Wait, is that true, Captain?
It is.
Pigeon! Pretty pigeon!
Order! 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 This witness's testimony is completely unreliable. He only saw the waitress from behind. And he claims the victim was wearing an earpiece when we know his eardrum was ruptured. Well, Mr. Godo?
A single drop of milk is all it takes to destroy the pure black magic in the cup.
Hey, I'm not against somebody putting milk into their coffee. I can't drink straight black, unfortunately. I'm not at that point where I can actually do that. I'm a spoiled guy. I always put cream and sugar. Oh, I put mostly cream in my coffee. I sometimes add sugar. Not as much as I used to nowadays, back then, but nowadays it's mostly just putting in the creamer and stuff like that. I needed a cup of tea there. With my left hand, by the way.
This old man is my drop of milk.
Captain, are you calling me a drip?
You do possess drip.
This is the victim's coffee cup in which the potassium cyanide was found. The mark on the rim clearly shows that the victim picked it up with his right hand. Oh, never back down. I know I'm right. The lad drank his Javachino with his left hand.
Let me put you out of your misery. Clearly the victim uses both hands. He took a sip of the cup in his right hand and then switched to his left. That's what the old man saw.
Objection!
No. Impossible. The witness has already testified on numerous occasions that the victim died immediately after taking just one sip of the coffee.
Objection! Which hand the victim used to pick up his cup is irrelevant, Your Honor. The facts still stand. With one hand or the other, Mr. Elg drank the poisoned coffee. Like this!
Sadly, Mr. Godo, that doesn't wash. The point of this testimony was to establish whether the witness's memory is credible. And the results are clear. The testimony given by this witness is useless.
I believe it is time to conclude today's proceedings. I am satisfied that the witness is not deceiving the court. But to be frank, his testimony is a farce. Did you have to be so frank? Take that, you pompous old fogey! I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo. You can't reach me from up there. I'm ordering the defense and the prosecution to investigate this case further. That is all for now. This court is adjourned.
Wait for it.
There it is. Wait! If we stop now, where does that leave me?
Leave you, Mr. Kudo?
Thanks to that blue-suited young upstart over there. I'm just a bumbling old man who can't even dot his T's or cross his I's now.
How is your bad memory my fault?
I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo, but there's nothing I can do. I've kept my mouth shut until now. But there's something else the court should know.
What? There's more?
To be perfectly honest, it might not be anything. But I want another chance. I want another crack at you, you young shark.
Me? He's looking at me like I'm some sort of evil shogun.
Well, everyone, what do you say to one final showdown? The final chapter in this eccentric old man's scrapbook!
Sorry, Gramps. I've already had my 17th cup of coffee.
What have you got to lose, Captain? I'll give you all the Javicino you want if you come to my house after the trial. I may be 68 years old, but Victor Kudo is still a man! That's enough, witness. I believe it would be quicker for the court to just hear your testimony. You bet! Much quicker!
I can't believe this is happening.
You better get ready, youngsters.
Get the picture, just quit throwing those seeds at me, would you? He's gotta be using some sort of infinite ammo code with that box of seeds. Where does he keep getting them? Okay.
First of all, I want to stress that this might be nothing. I'm not too sure myself. The young boy slumped over the table as soon as he took one sip of his Javicino. Well, the clumsy idiot upset the vase. He knocked it right over. It broke and the strip of cloth covering the table got completely soaked. Well, how about that? Turn things upside down,
Knocked over a flower vase? Is that all?
Yes, that's all. I remember it perfectly. Hey, you're doubting me again? You're doubting a poor defender's old man?
No, we're not doubting you, Mr. Kudo.
Don't you get the feeling there's a question hanging on everyone's lips, Nick?
Yeah. So what? Probably. That's all I can think of, and I have to cross-examine this guy.
You're a bad brain. That's why that's all you can think of.
But you're the one that... Wait a minute. Was there... Hold on. Do I have a... Oh, I do. I'm just gonna take a sip here. Somebody excuse this old man out of the premises, please. Nothing was knocked over. It's still there. You had me thinking that there was something going, but very well, Miss Wright. Your final cross-examination, please. You gotta be kidding me. The court generally prefers if witnesses are sure of themselves, Mr. Kudo.
Noisy brat. I'm warning you. I'm more savage than the Macho Man right now. You will beat me with this testimony. This is final battle. Ah!
You're checking those seeds harder than ever. Better be careful.
Come on, Nick, nail him.
The court has already heard that testimony, Mr. Kudo.
I know that! I was just saying the mood. How else am I supposed to build up the suspense?
The suspense?
Yes, now what do you think? Should I work the audience a bit more?
What? No. Please continue, Mr. Kudo, as quickly as possible.
All right. Now where was I? Yes. Young boy slumped over the table and...
A vase, you say?
Yes. Vases are on the tables and all that place. No accidents waiting to happen. They're practically begging to be knocked over.
Well, he's right about there being vases. I remember seeing them, too. Not a single one knocked over. There was a vase on the table when I ate lunch there. And you saw the moment when the victim actually knocked over the vase.
Well, it's hard to say. It's a bit unclear. How do you really define?
Okay, I get it.
I heard it break, and the sight of it burned into my memory as clear as day.
Soaked in water, you mean?
Yes, it splashed me on the knee as well.
You said you were sitting at a table across the room from the victim, correct? and yet the water still managed to splash onto you.
It was cold! I clearly remember splashing on me!
Could the water really make it all the way across to the other side of the room? No. I'm not even gonna bother pressing that.
Objection!
Oh my god, man. Mr. Kudo, this is a photograph of the crime scene.
So what?
Look carefully at the table. The vase is there, intact.
Huh?
Lost your tongue, Granddad?
I'm no granddad of yours, Hopscotch!
Enough!
If you throw any more seeds in this courtroom, the cleaners will be here all night.
What is it now?
I just remembered something.
Yes, go on.
The broken vase. It was on my table.
What?
Well, you see, it started me when that young man and lad collapsed. So I stood up. That must have been when it fell over. The vase on my table, I mean.
The vase on your table?
Yes, it was on my table. And that's how my groin came to be completely soaked.
Thank you, Mr. Kudo. You've certainly earned your kudos for today.
I'd like to ask a question now. Have I been any use at all?
Perhaps that's something you should reflect on yourself, Mr. Kudo.
Wait a minute! If that's the case, there's more. I got more to say. Oh, yes, I remember something else. Bailiff! Escort the witness out of the courtroom. Wait! Listen to me!
Well, though we seem to have been considerably sidetracked, I don't even know what to make of use of that. Honestly, I don't know either. And I am still not in a position to deliver a verdict. Good. The defendant has not been positively identified as the waitress in question. Additionally, there are two disparities in the testimony we have heard thus far. The mark on the coffee cup that the victim supposedly drank with it from his left hand, and the earpiece which was inserted into his left ear, out of which he couldn't hear.
Wow, Nick, you did it!
I therefore require both the defense and the prosecution to further investigate the facts. Yes, Your Honor. There's one more thing before I call today's session to an end. One more thing, Your Honor. The witness we just heard from. He is most insistent that his testimony should be of use. So he summarized it accordingly into this statement. Okay. You may each have a copy of it if you so wish.
Whatever. The prosecution doesn't need props like that.
Gono's really mad, huh?
Yeah, I would be too. Very well. Here you are then, Mr. Wright. There are 3 copies. My own, yours, and Mr. Godo's. Yes, Your Honor. When the incident occurred, I broke the vase at my seat. I'm sorry. Oh my god. I'm sorry? This isn't a piece of testimony, more like a 5-year-old's apology.
What the heck are we supposed to do with 3 copies?
That is all. This court is adjourned. Well, I'm gonna go rest for a little bit. I'm a little bit still confused, but I'm pretty sure we're probably gonna do another investigation, which is good. We gotta find some more information. But that's it. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.